My name is Chris White, and I head up information security and compliance for a fintech, a financial tech organisation called Aquila Haywood. Well, fundamentally, I think that my role is to look after client data and make sure that it is safe. So that comprises of lots of different things. So as part of my job, really, there's two sides to it. There's the information security side and the compliance side. So information security is making sure we have the processes and procedures and systems in place to keep the data safe. And that is data within our office environments, with people working from home, also with our data center. And the compliance side of it is making sure that we have the right certifications, industry standard certifications in place that will assist us with information security processes and systems. So those are what we call ISO certifications. So we have 27001, which is information security, 9001, which is our quality management system, and we also have 14001, which is our environmental management system. So it's two parts to that. As I say, information security and compliance. So the compliance side is about auditing internally to make sure we're doing what we say, and also our external audits against those ISO certifications. I suppose in lots of different ways, or hopefully my CEO would agree with this. So I talk to clients on a daily basis. So we have about over 100 clients. Most of them are public sector. We have some corporate clients as well, quite large corporate accounts. And my value really is giving them confidence in our products, I suppose, in the security of our products and our software portfolio, and giving them comfort that we've got everything in place to make sure that we are keeping their information and their data, their very sensitive data, safe. And as I say, whether that's our product security, whether it's our data center security, or the security we have at our endpoint, in other words, our end users, so our PCs and our laptops. What do I love about my job? Well, I'm very fortunate, in fact, that I like most of the things that I do in relation to my job, because it changes every day. And, you know, I could be writing strategic documentation to identify what we need to do in the future, what defense systems that we need to put in to stop cyber attacks, or it could be doing interviews like this, or it could be advising our clients on the testing protocol or the processes. But I suppose that there's one thing that is the most mundane thing I think about it, is that I get a lot of security questionnaires from our clients. So these are identifying what, as I say, what processes that we have in place, or what policies or what certifications that we have in place, because those clients are actually being audited by somebody else. So they could be audited by financial auditors like KPMG or Mazars, and they have to get a lot of empirical evidence of what we've got in place to keep the data safe. So I have to fill these security questionnaires out, probably about 1 or 2 a month, but some of them contain, unlike your interview, which contains 9 questions, these contain up to 100 questions, which takes me days to fill out. So I think that is one part of my job that is not necessarily the most loved part. Well, I think that going to university, so going back to 20 odd years or so, going to university and doing advanced degrees, that helped me with my depth of analysis in finding solutions to our problems Those problems could be a business problem, it could be a client problem. So that really helps. And then I've built up in relation to that various qualifications and certifications. So the two that stand out, I think, is the international software testing qualifications that I have. So I'm at practitioner level with those qualifications. So that helps me sort of design the scope for our cybersecurity testing, our penetration testing, and also I mentioned our ISO certification, which is 27001 for information security. So I'm a senior assessor for that certification. So that helps me, again, scope out what our penetration tests are going to be, what our cybersecurity reviews are, what protocols that we need in place. So I think those two, so I really think it's about a security testing certification and also a senior auditing certification as well. So I think those are the two that stand out for me. I'm unsure of that at this point. I think that I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning. So as part of my role within the organisation, I sit with the senior management team. And within that team, we get to do lots of different strategic goals for the organisation. So I think recently that we have been certain investors who have invested in the organisation, and they're asking us to go ahead and look at what the future of the business looks like. So I've been involved in doing. So that is something that I've wanted to do for a period of time, and now I've got the opportunity. So that's going to be the next 6 months or 12 months of my life here. I've mentioned to you recently about the certification that we have. So in other words, we have ISO certification, we have cyber certification, and I think sometimes it's a challenge for me to get the board to decide whether we should go for further certification to advance our strategy in relation to these things, because they're quite expensive to invest in, also to implement and maintain. So I think that's been a recent challenge. So what happens here, just so that to give you some context, is that clients may ask for certain certifications so that we can gain new business. So we might be doing bids and tenders for new business, and they may ask for certain levels of certification that the organisation don't have. So I think one of the challenges is that I have to submit and table this to the board to say that certain new business may or may not be won because we do or do not have certification that they require. So it's a very big challenge for me to identify to the board that it's worthwhile investment. And you know, one of the things that we did last year was I managed to get that investment and secure a successful bid because of that. Okay, so this is a bit of a big question, really. So I use Office 365 and various teams that work with me or collaborate with me for me to be successful in my role use lots of different software. They use Ping ID for identity security. They use SolarWinds for monitoring our data center. Obviously, the software development team use Java toolset. So we use lots of tools, lots of software. One of the pieces of software that we do use over the last 16 months because of the various lockdowns is Microsoft Teams, which has been so valuable to us. Obviously, we could do video calling and we can use it as a chat. So it's been really positive, Microsoft Teams. It's been a big change. Okay, so foundational knowledge. There's a multitude of ways that can be interpreted, but I think that I need a fundamental knowledge of cybersecurity protocols, I suppose. I need a industry standard knowledge of cybersecurity tools. Also, I need to know the standards that I refer to, the 27001 and 9001. I need to know how those operate and how those are applied. So that's the foundational knowledge, I suppose, the backbone. Also, generally, obviously, we need an understanding of IT systems, just a general understanding. Now, soft skills. So I mean, obviously, at various levels, I don't come from a technical background. My technical knowledge is very limited, but the soft skills that I use on a daily basis are communication, I suppose. I'm not doing this in order, but I use communication, I use teamwork and collaboration, I suppose critical thinking, also time management, also I suppose work ethic. So I think those are the soft skills that I use. What's my biggest achievement? I think personally, over the last, so I've been doing this specific role. So I've worked for Aquila Haywood for, I don't know, coming on to 7 years, but I was brought on here as a head of testing and quality assurance, and I moved into more compliance and information security because there was an opportunity for me to do so. But there was also an opportunity for me to join the board and join the senior management team. So I think that is the biggest achievement that I've, on a personal basis, over the last couple of years.